Now let's get down to the nitty-gritty of this dock worker strike. So this affects East Coast and Gulf, not the West Coast, because this union is only for the East and the South part. But that's still half of the docks, I believe, right, in our entire country. This is going to cause supply chain shortages when it comes to the economy. You heard the number I gave, Steve. Is that accurate? What did I say? $5 billion a day until they get back to work?
Well, I can't confirm that number because I've seen different numbers, but
Okay.
I will tell you that I was so glad you played that clip from the union president, because basically he's sticking a gun to the head of the American economy, saying we're going to, if you don't give us everything, that's ransom. It's ransom. And look, I'm not against these workers getting paid more.
No,
I'm not.
me neither.
And Trump said it well. He said, look, of course these workers are angry. They've suffered just like you and I have from Biden inflation. They can't pay their bills either. Nobody can. Crappy economy. Thank you, Joe Biden. And workers are understandably upset, and they do want to pay raise. Although, come on, 50%. How do you turn that down? I'm not getting Are you getting a 50% pay raise?
No, I'm not. I'd take it in a heartbeat. Let's go.
But let me say something else, because this is a very important issue. You mentioned the Taft-Hartley bill, and by the way, I'm not a big fan of that. I'm a libertarian. I don't want the government intervening in a lot of these things. But the reason we have this is as a national security measure and as a measure for our economic security. Look, if you've got an essential job for the functioning of the American economy, you've got to keep those jobs, people on the job. And it's just like, remember the air traffic controllers who wanted to strike and said, okay, you're fired. We'll find somebody else to do it.
I remember that. Reagan did it in the 80s.
But here's the thing. I'm almost, as a Trump person, and by the way, I'm still a Trump economic advisor, and here's my new book, The Trump Economic Miracle. But I got to tell you this. This is an incredibly incompetent administration. They can't do anything right. So they're going to allow a strike 3 or 4 weeks before the election. That's going to cause, as you just said, you're going to go to the grocery store, folks, if this lasts more than 4 or 5 days, and there's not going to be anything on the shelf. You think inflation is bad now? Wait till you pay $20 for a box of Wheaties, or you can't get a dozen eggs, or you can't get the produce. I mean, this is a very serious thing. And the truckers aren't going to have anything. Their jobs are going to be put in jeopardy. The construction workers aren't going to have the components they need. So this is going to reverberate around the economy, and it's a sign of chaos. That's what we have as Joe Biden. Look at what they did with the hurricane. I mean, there was no readiness. They've been incompetent. There's still 1 million people without electricity. Then you got the Iranians and Hezbollah firing at Israel. I don't know. It seems like the wheels are coming off our country.